Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Games I Speak. I'm just here today, and we have a lot to cover, so let's jump right in. So, first up, we have the big news. So, Microsoft basically came out and did a major reveal. Now, this is mainly regarding the Xbox Series X. And then their newest reveal was the Xbox Series S, which we already knew they were going to have a cloud console, but now we know more. So let's dive into this. So, pre orders for the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S are going to start on September 22nd this year. So that's pretty soon. And the console's launch date is going to be November 10th. So the Xbox Series S starts at $299. The Xbox Series X starts at $499, and they have something now called Microsoft Xbox All Access, or I guess you could just call it All Access, where you kind of basically get everything in one. So you can get a Xbox Series S plus Game Pass for 24 months for $24.99. And then you can get an Xbox Series X with Game Pass for 24 months for $34.99. So I would assume you rent it for 24 months, and then at the end of that 24-month period, you just ship it back, or they charge you the full cost of the console. So this service is going to support up to 12 countries. And the Game Pass supports 100 games plus EA Play, which is adding about 60 games. So that's about 160 games. Which, I mean, when they announced the EA Play, I thought that was pretty big news. A lot of people did, because not only did Game Pass already have 100 games, but now you take EA Play, which has a bulk of the sports games. And so now you have this console that can appeal to sports players, the first-person shooter players. A lot of indie games come out from Microsoft. So now they're just kind of broadening their scope for who they appeal to. And then, so the big caveat was that the Xbox Series S does not have the backwards compatibility enhanced optimizations that the Xbox Series X is going to have. But, I mean, let's be real. Microsoft is the only one that's promoting backwards compatibility all the way back to their first generation. PlayStation 5 is only going to have backwards compatibility for PS4. And, Switch has nothing except for their emulations, which you can play NES and SNES, but you have to have Nintendo Switch Online. So this, I don't think, is too big of an issue. You can still play the older games, but it's going to be the optimizations that were on the Xbox One S, not the Xbox Series X. So, I mean, this is big news. Microsoft, they seem more organized than Sony, and I feel like Sony's going to have to respond soon, or else people might start, questioning, might lose a little confidence here. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. And there's if you're wondering, like, does this all access support me? They have a list of all the countries. I think a couple of them are like South Korea, Poland, obviously USA, UK, some other places. So yeah, you can check it out. I don't think Japan was on there, which I found interesting, because I know Microsoft has been trying to get into the Japanese market more, but it's been kind of dominated by PlayStation and Switch. So yeah, it would be smart for them to come out with all access in Japan at some point. So All right. Next up, we have new details for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. So let's go through here. Basically, a new trailer was released that just kind of details some of the new features for the new Call of Duty Cold War Black Ops game. So let's go through this. We have, first of all, the development is led by Treyarch. The open beta starts October 8th on PS4 for everyone who pre-orders on the PlayStation Store. So if you want early beta, you have to pre-order on the PlayStation Store, so everyone knows. We're gonna have diverse maps from all over the world. They're gonna have North Atlantic waters, Angolan desert, frozen lakes of Uzbekistan, South Beach, Miami, and Moscow, USSR. These are the name of the maps: Armada, Crossroads, Miami, and Moscow, and Satellite. And then there's going to be several new game modes. So those game modes are going to be VIP Escort, Combined Arms, and Fire Team. So VIP Escort is going to be 6-on-6. And it's going to have one team is either going to protect or subdue a VIP. One player is randomly chosen as the VIP. The VIP has a pistol, smoke grenade, and UAV. And the goal is to get the VIP to the extraction point and defend until evacuated. And then you're going to have Combined Arms, which is a 12 versus 12. And this is going to have vehicles, and it's going to support submodes like Domination. So the vehicles are going to be tanks, snowmobiles, attack helicopters, and wake runners. And then for the fire team, you're going to have 40 players, and this is going to be teams of 4 with 10 players each. And the first submode is called Dirty Bomb, which they said they're going to release details later. Now you have a new sound engine, which is going to have, they said it's going to have more realistic sounds. You're going to have field upgrades in the game, which allow team buffs or enemy debuffs. And you're going to have primary weapon customization via a gunsmith. And so the field upgrades is interesting. I assume you're going to be able to boost your team during the gameplay. So that'll be hard to actually balance for them, but I like to see how they do it. And then here's something interesting. Instead of kill streaks, they're going to have score streaks, which means your streaks are going to continue even into death. So this is going to be good for the more casual player, but I don't know how the hardcore player is going to feel about this. And then more realistic sprinting, sliding, footsteps, and jumping. So that's pretty much it for their multiplayer reveal. I think the game's shaping up nicely. The graphics looked really good. The gameplay looks solid, as you would expect from a Call of Duty game. And then at the end, they previewed the zombies mode, which looked, Black Ops is known for having zombie modes, so that's making an entrance back as well. So, yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna get it because Warzone's free, but like I said, I'm pretty interested in the story. So if the story's really good, I might pick it up just to play through the campaign. All right, next up we have new information on Tawna, the newest playable character in Crash Bandicoot 4. So let's dive into this. So first of all, Tawna was in the first game, and she was Crash's girlfriend, but she played a more like helpless damsel in distress type character. So they revisioned her and they took her from like, they call it the Tawnaverse, which means like, since you're jumping around in different dimensions, this is one of the different Tawnas from a different dimension. And instead of being a more helpless character, she's actually like a kick-ass hero type. So she has a grappling hook, wall jump, ground and pound attack, and spin kicks. So she's definitely a more dynamic, explosive type character. I mean, even look at her. You can see she looks like super athletic. Like, look at her legs. She even has like kind of muscular arms, and her hairstyle is like kind of like a punk style. She has like the double earrings. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty interesting take on her. Yeah, what can I say? I mean, I am like super excited for this game. I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I'm gonna pre-order it soon, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see how she plays. So next up, we have Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. So this this is smart on Nintendo's part. So Nintendo, first of all, they just dropped a awesome Nintendo Super Mario Bros. 35 Anniversary Direct, which me and John covered last week. And now they saved this gem for this week. So first of all, let me kind of go through here so that people who aren't familiar with Warriors games know what this is. So this is developed by Omega Force and is produced by Koei Tecmo. And it's available on November 20th. And this is a Warriors game. For those that aren't sure, Dynasty Warriors is this big series of kind of like brawler, like beat 'em ups on a giant scale. You can call them hack and slash, whatever you want. So it's basically you taking on armies of troops. And then you have checkpoints and objectives and stuff like this. So the history of this series, the Hyrule Warrior series, is that it was originally launched in 2014 for the Wii U. And there was a couple ports in between that and 2018 when it was released for the Switch, the definitive edition. So if you kind of want to go back and play the game and familiarize yourself with it, I guess I would recommend the 2018 definitive edition for the Switch. So let's take a look at some of these screenshots here. It definitely has the Zelda feel to it. Like the characters, the world, everything is very consistent. The art style is beautiful. So Nintendo said they liked how Omega Force kind of build out the world of Hyrule, and that's why they, decided to keep going with this. So just some backstory. This takes place 100 years before Breath of the Wild. So Breath of the Wild. So this is it's not too complex, but it's a little. To understand it, I had to look this up. So basically, in Breath of the Wild, you deal with the Great Calamity. So this is the start of that Great Calamity that you have to deal with in Breath of the Wild. So what happens 100 years before Calamity Ganon was released? Now, for those that don't know, this is the second Great Calamity. The first Great Calamity took place in 10,000 years ago. So 10,000 years ago, the first great calamity happened. The Hylian forces defeated Calamity Ganon and sealed him away for 9,900 years. And then at 9,900 years, the second great calamity happened, which is what happens in this game. So basically that led to the defeat of the Hylian forces and caused a mass destruction in Hyrule, which you basically you have to fix in Breath of the Wild. So to be upfront with everyone, I'm not a big fan of the Warrior series. So I didn't play this Hyrule Warriors. But here's the thing. The way that they're doing this game is smart because they're essentially going, hey, look, you might not be a Warriors fan, but this is gonna play into the main storyline. So if you want to know what happened in the second great calamity, that many players of Breath of the Wild, they got enveloped in that world. They might actually pick up this game, which is a different type of game, but the world building looks rich. I mean, it looks beautiful, and I would just say if you're a Zelda fan, you should probably just get this game and learn what happened during the first or the second great calamity. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking out for this game. Next up, this is something I briefly covered. Square Enix basically had a lot of backlash for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition, which had a host of problems. So here we have an article this is actually by the director who did the remastered edition. I don't know how to say this. Araki Ryoma. My Japanese pronunciation is horrible, so please forgive me. So basically, the way they did the multiplayer functionality in the remastered was pretty bad. It was cumbersome to run dungeons. The host got the most of the rewards for playing, and it was just an overall disaster, and people were upset. So this article covers some fixes. So first of all, they raised server capacity. They're going to deploy rapid fixes to fix bugs. There was an issue where players count as already having spawned an elements hotspot after being matched with a player who has spawned one and completed a dungeon in multiplayer. They're going to fix infinite item spawn, freezing during loading on iOS. The host can skip cutscenes in multiplayer and can skip cutscenes in single player in iOS and Android. So I think it's good that they're dealing with it, but I have to ask myself, is it enough? Is it they didn't address the main gripes that people had about the multiplayer functionality, so I think it's good that they're taking the step to deal with it, but I don't know if it's enough. I think they have to do more. So, all right, next up, we have more news with Apple and Epic Games beef. So let's jump right in here. All right, so Apple seeks damages from Epic Games. So this is the obvious progression here, Epic Games, for those that don't know, I've been covering this for 3 weeks now. Epic Games basically pushed an update to try to circumvent the App Store's, payment policy, which they take a 30% cut, which, yes, it's huge and I think it's too much, but Epic basically picked this fight. They already had propaganda films ready to go. And my main criticism with this is weaponizing their player base against Apple. You should never involve your customers with your corporate battles. That's a bad idea. So let's jump into what Apple said here. So Apple says Epic's lawsuit is nothing more than a basic disagreement over money. Although Epic portrays itself as a modern corporate Robin Hood, in reality, it is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise that simply wants to pay nothing for the tremendous value it derives from the App Store. So I kind of have to agree here. To me, it just seems like a bottom line thing. Apple reveals that the Epic Store has made more than $600 million from the App Store. So, boo-hoo, cry me a river, Epic Games. You made more than $600 million. Jeez. And Apple is countersuing for the amount Epic made while circumventing the App Store and asking for Epic to be barred from using its internal payment system in the future. So, Epic failed to play the small guy here. They made over $600 million from the App Store. They're trying to cut out Apple, and they got called out for it. And now they're trying to pretend like there's some like weak, helpless indie developer that's being persecuted. I'm sorry, nobody buys it. They just look foolish. So now Apple's suing for damages. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen here. I'll keep you all tuned. But yeah, this is ridiculous. The next story is something that's a little bit more serious, in my opinion. And this is something that Apple, they're kind of on the wrong side of on this. So basically, Apple said that they're going to they're going to permit Google Stadia and Microsoft xCloud on the newest version of iOS 14. So what does this mean? Well, it means that iOS users, they can now download and use Google Stadia and Microsoft xCloud on their device. So this is pretty big news. The new update will allow these apps on the App Store. This is better than what iOS users currently have, but there's issues. Each game will have to be registered as a separate app. So what does that mean? That means for Microsoft xCloud, they're going to have 160 apps, and they're going to have to register every single game that comes out on the iOS App Store. Now, that sounds insane, and it sounds like an insane waste of time, and it sounds dumb. Like, it doesn't sound like a good, architecture. It sounds like this is pinpointing a massive flaw in Apple's architecture. So let's take a look at what Microsoft says. Microsoft responded, "This remains a bad experience for customers. Gamers want to jump directly into a game from their curated catalog within one app, just like they do with movies or songs, or they do on their consoles, and not be forced to download over 100 apps to play individual games from the cloud. Why would Apple require something this cumbersome for its users? Simply put, so it can enforce its 30% cut of the revenue. So now this is a real problem regarding the App Store. Now, I think Epic, they started the battle, but they started it under false pretenses. But this is a real issue in my eyes, because now you're going to have more people trying to get on cloud gaming, and they're going to want to do it on their phones. Now, I have an Android. This is a Pixel. I'm not an Apple guy. But people who are on Apple, they're going to be like, download 100 games if I want to try a game? That's stupid. That's a waste of bandwidth. And yeah, why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just play on my PC or my console? So this just seems stupid. I'm not a fan of game streaming services, but this seems like it's only going to hurt the users, and it might backfire. It might blow up in Apple's face. So they're going to have to find a way to fix their environment, because this is ridiculous. This doesn't make any sense. It's definitely showing a flaw in their system. All right, so next up, retro news. So for those that don't follow this show, I like to jump into like kind of interesting retro stuff that I find during the week, and this is one of them. So Crystal Caves HD. So those that don't know, this is an old PC game from Apogee Software. And for those that are unfamiliar with Apogee Software, they had like these like, I don't want to call them knockoffs because some of them were unique games, but they were like these really cartoonish platforming type games that came out on PC, and they were usually released in shareware. So for those youngins out there, shareware is basically like a trial. So you could download the game, play it up to a point, and then you would have to buy a game. These are like one of the biggest pioneers of that shareware stuff. So let's go through what they're offering here. So this is a kind of a preview. So it's going to be HD remastered. It's coming to Steam and GOG. I don't know, GOG, I don't know how to call it. So it's coming for those both. GOG is going to get a DRM free version. And it's a classic PC game from Apogee Games. It's going to have a new episode, new level creator. You're going to be able to create your own levels in, I don't know if you're going to do it in the GOG version, but you're definitely going to be able to do it in the Steam version, which is pretty cool. Animated, it's going to have animated storyboards instead of just like, like a still image. You're going to have achievements, online leaderboards. There's going to be a secret level and a new soundtrack. So for those of you that are like, thanks for telling me this, but I have no interest in this game. It's kind of like a nostalgic thing for me, because back in the day I had access to a PC. I was one of the lucky kids who had access to PCs in the since the 80s. I was really lucky. I actually had my own laptop in the 80s. I wasn't even a preteen. And my mom had a laptop. She got a laptop from somewhere, and she was like, "Here, you can have it." So, yeah, I was lucky. This is just a nostalgic trip through memory lane. So I might get it just for that. And I already bought the Apogee pack. There's an Apogee pack on Steam. I already have it. So, yeah, this is just like a nostalgic thing for me. But it's pretty cool to see that they're giving some love to their old games. All right, next up, this is pretty cool. So Toaplan, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Toaplan. So for those of you that don't know, Toaplan is a Japanese developer that made shoot 'em up games for the Sega Genesis, and some of them are pretty famous. So, like, you guys, you remember that, like, all your base are belong to us funny video? Yeah, this is one of them. So we're gonna have Truxton, Hellfire, Fire Shark, and Zeroing. I think this is the all your base are belong to one. So belong to us. So this is being produced by Retrobit. They're going to be sold on Castlemania Games Limited Run, and in Europe, Dragon Box, Spellsant, and Strictly Limited. I order from all of these except for Spellsant. Never heard of that. Castlemania Games is already sold out of their pre-orders. The complete collection is going to be $159.99. Each individual game is going to sell for $44.99. Why is this cool? These are cool because these are rare shoot 'em ups for Genesis. They're hard to find. They're expensive. Each comes with a commemorative slip, which is going to like make your game look very nice in your collection. And it's going to have a thank you card from the developer and a collectible enamel pin, as well as a certificate of authenticity. And you have this cool colored cartridge. So, and it looks like a sticker set too. So yeah, this is awesome. I'm going to try to get this. People, these are going to go fast. These are going to go very fast. This was just announced, and it's already sold out on Castlemania Games. So this is my copy of Truxton. I got this at a local used bookstore. This game is very rare. I think it sells for around $80 or $100 on eBay. So yeah, I'm definitely going to take the opportunity to get these. Except for Truxton, which I already have. All right, so next up we have PlayStation. So this is our rumor mill for the week. So disclaimer. So I like to show rumors that have a little evidence. So this one actually has some evidence. So what's the rumor? PlayStation 5 items listed on Amazon Japan could signal November 20th release date. So let's take a look here. Japanese Twitter user Rank a Schedule, which I think we've referenced multiple times here, found PS5 items on Amazon Japan. There's a charging headset, a charging stand for PS5 controller, a headset for PS5, and an attachment for PS5 controller. All items have planned release date of November 20th, 2020. Could this be the release date of the PS5? That's a good question. So, we don't know. But is this a little bit of a like Easter egg that could be? Yeah, this could be kind of an indirect leak of the release date. So gotta wait and see if this pans out. But yeah, it'd be interesting. Sony needs that quickly. All right, next up we have another rumor. So, Demon Souls. So, Demon Souls, this is also like a rumor with a little evidence. Basically, on Amazon Australia, I believe, PlayStation 5 game art was found with the following games: Demon Souls, Gran Turismo 7. Okay. And then as well as some screenshots. But Demon Souls, Gran Turismo 7, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, Destruction All-Stars, and Returnal. So here we can see, says art not final. This is a box art for PlayStation 5, and this was found on Australia, Amazon. And then we have some screenshots of gameplay. So what does this mean? Well, it means that Demon Souls, Gran Turismo 7, Sackboy, A Big Adventure, Destruction All Stars, and Returnal might be launch titles. So here we have the other ones. So do I think it's proof that they're going to be launch titles? No. But I think it's evidence that they might be. So I already said in a previous episode, so did Josie. If Demon Souls is a launch title for the PlayStation, we might pre-order the PlayStation 5. So the launch titles are immensely important. I would be happy if these turned out to be true. So I really want Demon Souls to be a launch title. Returnal as well. The other ones I'm not so interested about. So yeah, this might be a leak that could show the launch title. So I hope it's true. Thanks everyone for tuning in this week. Please, if you like the podcast or the show, and we have a podcast too, if you like it, please subscribe and like, because that lets me know that I should keep doing this. You know, the more subscriptions I get, the more feedback, the more I know that people like it, and I should keep doing this. So there was a person that left a very encouraging comment. I love encouraging comments. Feel free to leave them. And if you do have some constructive criticism, I'm not one of those people that melts down. I've gotten some nasty comments before. I don't really react to them, but feel free to leave a comment. I want to build a community where we have a discussion. I'd like to see a discussion in the comments, so please leave a comment. Keep gaming, and we'll see you all next time. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this episode of Games I Speak. If you liked the episode, please subscribe and leave a comment below, and we'll see you all next time.